Hey everyone, been a while since I did a proper Sonic video, so I thought I'd share some of my thoughts on something that I've been feeling for a while since Sonic Frontiers came out. Just to be clear, I do not hate Sonic Frontiers. I said my opinions that way for exaggerative effect, and it seemed to anger some of you just a little. First video where I said that, where it was more of a rant about the bad things that I disliked about Sonic Frontiers, where I forgot to focus on anything that I did like. I don't hate Sonic Frontiers. The reason I uninstalled the game and removed it from my Steam library is because of Sonic Team's incompetence with the newer update and my lack of trust in Sonic Team going forward. I won't be expecting any better in the similar games that Sonic Team has promised for the next 10 years. Again, I don't hate the game. I don't even dislike it, but this recent update drove me up the fucking wall. I was so pissed off at how unfair this game was. And before you say skill issue, that's not a defense for objectively bad game design. Even if this update gets fixed, the way it came out shows me that Sonic Team is no longer competent. Sega was the one that promised the game would be out by the end of the year, whereas Sonic Team felt it necessary to rush out the update 3 months before the year ends, and it didn't have time to cook all the way, and so now people are just saying skill issue, skill issue, skill issue, and that's just not a good argument. But I have another big problem with Sonic Frontiers, and that's because of the new story from Ian Flynn. Just to make it clear, I do like Flynn's writing when it's executed well, but I don't think that it was executed well in Sonic Frontiers. In the issues of the IDW Sonic comic I read, the first 12 issues, I thought they were good. I felt like Ian Flynn's writing was very well executed and welcome, and the references to past events and the quoting of lyrics from older songs were actually funny and appreciable. But when such references are shoehorned in like they felt in Sonic Frontiers to me, mentioning characters completely irrelevant to the plot of the game, making flashbacks that were maybe not necessarily unnecessary, but I don't think they were handled well. So I feel like the way this stuff was presented wasn't executed the best. So the flashbacks could have been handled a lot better, especially if they were the full cutscenes, not just screenshots, or if they were just a passing reference, only explained enough detail for newer players to understand. I know that the handling of these references is not necessarily Ian's fault, because he's not the only staff member that has control over the script, but still I don't like the execution. The main problem is that Ian Flynn is trying to tie events together from every game in the series, and a lot of those games were designed to have self-contained stories. As you know, I'm a fan of Sonic Forces, despite the various issues with the game, one being the story. A lot of people think that Sonic Forces is a worse game than Sonic 06, but I really love both of those games, so I can't subjectively say that one is better or worse than the other. Objectively, I'd say Sonic 06 is worse because of various reasons not just related to the story. But in terms of the story, Sonic Frontiers is mostly consistent, even if it's half-baked and falls flat at trying to be serious. Sonic 06 has a lot of plot holes and a rather unnecessary level of tension and drama toward the end. But those things don't really bother me because I had a lot of fun playing Sonic 06. One of the problems I have with Frontier story is that it's almost entirely consisting of overdramatic scenes, to the point the characters don't even feel like themselves or sound like themselves. Call me crazy, but I never had problems with Pontaff's writing. I thought Sonic Colors had an appropriate tone for the game, and the scene in the end where Sonic almost dies has the right balance of tension and hope, in my opinion. The characters feel like themselves. This is what Sonic and Tails should act and sound like in a series about a talking cartoon hedgehog that can break the speed barrier. The writing may be unnecessarily goofy, but I almost never skip over the cutscenes when playing Sonic Colors. Now, Sonic Frontiers, on the other hand, every time I played since the first time, I skipped the cutscenes, or most of them. Sonic Generations didn't have that much story to begin with, but I liked what little of it there was. Sonic Lost World took the goofy tone of Sonic Colors to a way higher level, and I'll admit the cutscenes are really cringy, but it did a good job of depicting the relationship that Sonic, Tails, and Eggman had with each other as they tried to work together to stop the Deadly Six. Now, Tails may have acted unnecessarily hostile towards Sonic, but I can let that slide because regardless, the story actually did its job well for the tone of the game, even if the dialogue and the personalities of the characters were a bit off. And like I said, Sonic Forces flopped at trying to be serious, but it had a consistent story, and I'd say an even better story than Sonic Colors. Now compare all of that to Ian Flynn's writing. Since those previous stories are no longer self-contained, piecing together a bunch of random lore is now a lot more difficult, and characters that aren't relevant to the plot keep constantly popping up in the form of just saying their names or referring to some past event. To be clear, I have no problem if any of these characters were to return in a future Sonic game or in side media. I don't even have a problem with Styx being canon outside of the Boom universe. In fact, I'd really like to see her become a playable character in a future Sonic game, or at least explore her personality some more. I know a lot of Sonic fans hate the Pontaff style, but I personally had no problem with it, especially compared to how poorly executed I feel Ian Flynn's writing is. And I know this video is probably one of my weirder and more out there ones, but if you survived through the video this far, listen to my hot takes, that means you either agree with them or you at least tolerated them enough to hear me out. In the latter case, I'm glad to be able to disagree with other people while still respecting each other's opinion, and that really seems really rare in the Sonic fandom. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to press the like button, and if you want to see me create more Sonic and FNAF theories, discussions, gameplay, reviews, be sure to subscribe. And if you want to support my work, considering becoming a member for only 99 cents a month, which is just less than 4 cents a day, or make a one-time donation via a super thanks in a comment below. As always, stay safe, stay cool, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.